Hi, hola. Welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I'm the Humble Apprentice, your Friday host, and this is season 12, week 8. This week's topic is money magic. How to draw in, how to keep, and how to keep getting money into your life. The first thing that I had to do when I started working with money magic was to sit down and figure out what my core beliefs regarding money and prosperity and abundance were, how I viewed money, what my relationship with money was, what I thought about people that had money, and how I saw the world and those with money and those without money, who I associated myself with the most. So, growing up Catholic, there is a lot of beliefs about money that are were very drilled into my subconscious since I was very little. I think there's one that I remember that it's easier to pass a camel through the eye of a needle than a rich man to go to heaven or get into heaven. So there's a lot of, sayings like that. And, well, who wants to be rich? Who wants to have money if you're not going to make it to heaven, Who wants to prevent themselves from eternal joy and eternal happiness? So removing those blockages and getting to that core understanding of my self and my psyche, that's one of the very first things that I had to do to be able to remove the blockages and to push through and understand that money has no positive or negative charge. It's not good or bad. It's not good or evil. Money is a representation of the energy flow. So prosperity and abundance are a form of energy, and money just shows how much prosperity flows towards you, how much in tune with the energy of abundance you are. So in working with the energy of prosperity, releasing the idea that it was a negative, and knowing that what I was going to be able to do with the prosperity, with the money, was going to be good in my life and the life of my family and all the people around me, because I was going to bring them joy and happiness and health and healing and new experiences and the ability to live life in abundance, in health, in prosperity. So now that we've got that down, the things that I love to work with in terms of prosperity are crystals and jewelry, because they're always around me. But jewelry, it's acceptable to carry jewelry around with you. For me, jewelry is the easiest and constant way of carrying around your intention of bringing prosperity in until it's ready to go, to be released, until you are ready to aim it in a different direction, towards a new house, towards a new car. So it doesn't just come in and out, so that it comes in and then you direct it into the new purpose. whatever it is that you need that energy to go towards. Crystals that are awesome for abundance and prosperity and bringing in the energy flow of money are jade, green aventurine, emerald. And this is like a baby emerald. There are many grades of emerald. The darkest ones are the very expensive, and I believe it's a form of beryl. This is like a very young in its lifespan of millions of years, right? But it still has the energy of the emerald. It's not any less a beryl than the high grade that we associate. Sorry, my my incense is flashing over there. It still has the energy of abundance, and it draws in abundance. Okay, another very awesome crystal for abundance is citrine. And I believe so many people call this the merchant stone, but this is fantastic. It is associated with the sun, but it is drawing in energy, and it works also with your solar plexus. And then next we have pyrite. Pyrite is also very good, not just for prosperity and abundance, but also for creativity, and it's great for artists. So I like to wire wrap my crystals also. It's kind of large, but I really love the protection that I feel from black kyanite, and I wrapped it with raw copper, citrine, carnelian, and iolite. Iolite is very good for third eye and intuition. So you have creativity and abundance, and your ability to see, to foresee, and to see through things also. Next I have, so this I made because, like I said, I like to, it's almost like a spell that I do when I make these. But green aventurine draws in money, and then black tourmaline holds the energy, and it grounds it, and it protects it. So black tourmaline is protective and grounding. And then we have down here clear quartz magnifies, and this is ruby and kyanite. Blue kyanite cleanses other crystals, and ruby is very good for the heart, and so is pink quartz. And it's always very important to work with your heart center to heal the energy of lack and the feeling of, am I worthy? Yes, you are worthy. I am worthy. We are worthy of the energy of prosperity and abundance. So that's why I put the rose quartz in peridot, and I believe that is also a little emerald. Then we have pyrite and garnet, because garnet is very important when working with prosperity and abundance, because it works with the root chakra. And the root chakra is yourself. How safe do you feel in your home, in your environment? How protected do you feel? Are your needs met for your survival? So healing that center is extremely important, because then you're relaxed. If you know your needs are met to survive, you can focus on other things. Another thing that we can do is we can take a bay leaf and draw our intentions on the bay leaf. So I like to use natural elements, so I really like to use a pencil. And then I could write, I am abundant. You can write out your own affirmations, but for this example, you take your bay leaf, and I like to light it from the candle that I'm burning, and then I take my cauldron or whatever heat resistant plate you're using, and then you let it burn. Once the bay leaf has burned down completely and it's all ashes, you take the ashes and you place them in a little container. There are these really cute little tiny glass bottles that you can wrap and seal, and then put it on your necklace or carry it in your purse, but you have to carry it with you until your wish or your desire comes true. Okay. Oh, a couple weeks ago we did an episode on which spheres, which balls, and this is my prosperity witch ball. So the tinsel that I chose is green to represent earth and abundance and new growth and healing, and then I added a bay leaf also for protection and to draw in abundance, and cinnamon for protection and a heating element, and to draw in abundance and protection, and some of the sea salt that I charged over one of the super full moons this past year. Okay, so as I added each of the ingredients, I spoke my intent for the ingredients into the sphere, and first I cleansed it with smoke, and when I cleansed it, I visualized the smoke going through the sphere, and then the sphere allowing the smoke through itself. So in one, I saw the perspective of the smoke, and the other one I saw the perspective of the sphere. So this I'll place in front of my front door, so it's the first thing that energy comes into, and it filters out, and it releases prosperous energy into the environment. Okay, so herbs that I like to use for prosperity are basil, very good for prosperity. Cinnamon, it's not an herb, but I really like dragon's blood for protection, but also for prosperity. Bee pollen, not an herb, but I really like the energy of bees, and it's very nutritious, and it's very abundant, and it just increases the energy of your spell. What else? Oh, patchouli. Patchouli, I have a little pouch of the herb that I use whenever I make oils or whenever I make a candle for prosperity. Fenugreek, basil, nutmeg, Irish moss, cinquefoil, or as it's also called, five fingers grass, bayberries. Next we'll speak about candles and the different kinds that you can make. So you can use just a tall candle without a glass, or you can use a candle with a glass. You can use any size candle, really. It's just it's really nice to have. For me, I have kids and I have a cat, so it's safer to have the candles in a glass container, in a glass jar. So to dress the candle, I would use my money or prosperity oil, prosperity herbs, crystals. I can also use a coin to put into this candle, and for that I like to find these quarters that have the centennial or bicentennial anniversary with a little drummer on the back, because they represent freedom. It was the 200th anniversary of the independence from Britain, so I really like those. And you can also use glitter or gold powder. I have this little gold powder that's mica. And you can also create a sigil that you can draw with a Sharpie on the outside, or with paint on the outside of the jar. Or if you have a candle that doesn't have a jar, it could be a taper, it could be any size candle. Bigger is easier to work with. You can carve out the sigil, and then you can dress the candle with your money oil, and then you can put ground herbs inside the sigil or all around the candle. If you're going to dress a candle that doesn't have a glass, to draw in, you start at the top and you go towards the center, from the top down and from the bottom up into the center. If you are using it to release or to let go, you go from the center out. That's to release. What else? Next is a honey pot or a honey jar. And for the honey pot, I really like the small mason jars or ball. There are different types. I like the ones that don't have anything on the top, and small for me is better because you use less ingredients and it's not that tall, so it takes up less space. And I like to put these on top of a bowl so that it holds all the wax, and you can keep adding candles and burning candles daily on top of your money jar. So you would start off the any of the herbs that I spoke about are good to put in here. So you start off with an empty jar, then you put a little bit of honey in the bottom. I would put cinnamon, then a little bit of honey, then 3 to 9 cloves, and I do in pinches of 3. I like pinches of 3. You can do 4, you can do 6, 9, depending on what what is important to you, what traditions you follow. So then you put some more honey, and I would put bee pollen and more honey. And every time you add something, speak your intention to the item that you're adding. Then you can put in either some fingernails or maybe a hair with a root follicle. That would be awesome because it has not just a hair, but the root of the hair where it's growing from. You can also add some blood into the honey jar, into the honey pot. You can add some coins. You can add a bill. I don't believe that it's defacing money if you add a bill, because you can just rinse it off, take it out and rinse it off. You're not writing on it. You can use like play money to write your intention, which is the last thing that I do, so I don't fill it up all the way. I take a little piece of parchment or a piece of paper bag, and I write with pencil, and I write my intention. And I actually like to prick my finger a little bit and use the blood to put my thumbprint onto the petition, onto the paper, onto the intent, onto the statement of intent. Because to me that is two ways that it is completely mine. Signatures, those work, but there's no way of faking my blood or my thumbprint. That is unique to me. So there you go. And also the blood is also a different, the blood is a connection to you. It becomes blood magic. You are connected to the energy that's being drawn into this little honey jar. Well, we've gone over a few of the ways that I work to draw in abundance, prosperity, and magic. I hope that they are helpful to you. I hope that you draw in your own abundance and your money. And if you have any questions, please write them down below. Have a great weekend. Thank you for watching, and blessed be.